The Star Wars franchise has been around for a very long time, ever since 1977 all the way up until 2005 before Disney bought out Lucasfilm back in 2012. A lot of fans had issues with the sequel trilogy, such as especially The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one side of Star Wars that a lot of hardcore fans really do enjoy is, of course, the Star Wars Legends material. In case you guys are uninformed on exactly what Star Wars Legends really consists of, it's basically all of the content that is currently not canon under Disney. We're talking about Starkiller from the Force Unleashed video games. We're talking about Darth Malak and a lot of the stories from the Old Republic video games and Knights of the Old Republic. All of which are, of course, not canon in the Star Wars universe. And there's a lot more to tell on top of all of this. Now, obviously, we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are going through a specific phase as we speak right now in order to really create a new franchise and to really evolve it into something new. Now, what they are currently doing is that they are trying their very best in order to satisfy the fans by doing this hard reset of the Star Wars franchise. And what that essentially means is that they are resetting exactly how the franchise is going to be handled by themselves, and of course, how this also concerns Kathleen Kennedy. She will no longer be involved on a creative scale for Star Wars movies and TV shows after 2021. Now, on top of all of this, both Disney and Lucasfilm are now finished with the Skywalker saga and are now moving on to their new Star Wars trilogy as well as their new universe that will evolve the franchise. One of the big changes happening right now is that Lucasfilm is bringing new creatives on board and are handling the franchise differently to satisfy the Star Wars fans after the sequel trilogy and the mistakes they made with those films. One of the big strategies that Disney and Lucasfilm have in place is that both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be writing many projects for the new Star Wars universe, and that Dave Filoni will be the one responsible for bringing back Star Wars Legends into the Disney canon of the franchise. The idea for Dave Filoni to bring back a majority of Star Wars Legends comes from Disney CEO Bob Iger, where he realized that it was a successful time in the 1990s and the early 2000s for books and video games and more, and that they want to emulate exactly how it was done back then by resurrecting many of the Star Wars Legends stories for the fans. Now, this is said to be a plan by Disney in order to take responsibility for the Star Wars brand and to make sure that the brand stays successful even after Bob Iger's departure from Disney Star Wars next year. One of the big plans also is that Dave Filoni will also be involved with the new Star Wars trilogy and the creative choices for these new films to be released in the near future. This is Lucasfilm's way of creating and evolving the Star Wars franchise into something more authentic for the hardcore fans who have been around since the originals and the prequels as well. Many of the Legends stories will start to be made canon sometime in 2021, and that 2020 will also tease of what's to come at Star Wars Celebration. So let's go into a couple of parts about this. Now, obviously, bringing back Star Wars Legends is really a light at the end of the tunnel. There's no other way to say this. This really is a light at the end of the tunnel as long as they stay true to exactly how it was handled many years ago. So, in case you guys are not familiar with Legends, this is a library's worth of Star Wars material. If you grew up in the 1990s and the early 2000s, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and that's exactly what a lot of fans love about the Star Wars franchise after Return of the Jedi. There is so much lore that it really would have filled up an entire library. I'm not even over-exaggerating that. So, when we look at Star Wars, the fact that they are now starting over, they are bringing back Star Wars Legends, and how Dave Filoni is going to be handling a majority of this, and how a lot of this is going to take effect in 2021 next year, it's going to be a very interesting decade. This could very well be the new 1990s, if you will, of the Star Wars expanded universe, where we are going to get proper stories, we're going to get proper video games that a lot of fans are going to genuinely enjoy. I think a lot of fans out there are very mixed on how they feel about everything that has been expanded and everything that does fill in the gaps in the forms of books, novels, comics, and stuff around those lines. However, it's going to be quite different as well, is because Star Wars Legends is also going to return in the form of TV shows on Disney+, which, by the way, Dave Filoni will also be handling. In case you guys did not know, He was a director for some episodes on The Mandalorian, and those episodes that he was involved in, very well done. And you can really only imagine exactly what he has to offer for the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series as a director for one or two of those episodes. So, when we think about this, Dave Filoni obviously knows Star Wars Legends. He's actually said this many times before in the past, that he knows a lot of Star Wars Legends lore and material, and not only him, but also Jon Favreau, even Bob Iger, who, by the way, is going to be leaving Star Wars next year. The CEO of Disney said that he sees a lot of George Lucas within Jon Favreau, and that, to me, I think that's a telltale sign that whoever he is looking for to replace Kathleen Kennedy, there's a great chance it could very well and absolutely be Jon. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.